You are lying on the ground. There is no hospital bed. There is no doctor. There is no light except firelight, and the only sounds are your own breathing and the voices of the women around you. This was birth for almost the entirety of human history. For roughly 300,000 years, every single human being who ever lived arrived into the world this way. No monitors, no anesthesia, no surgery if something went wrong. Just a body, a fire, and other women who had done this before. How did anyone survive that? How did the species survive that? The answer starts with a strange design flaw baked into your own skeleton. Human birth is unusually dangerous compared to almost every other primate. Chimpanzees give birth alone, quickly, and often without complications. Humans do not have that luxury. Anthropologist Wenda Trevethan has spent decades studying why, and her research points to a collision between two evolutionary pressures happening at the same time. Around 2 million years ago, early humans started walking upright on two legs. Walking upright reshaped the pelvis into a narrower, more compact shape, better for balance and long-distance movement. At almost the same time, human brains started getting dramatically bigger. A narrower pelvis, a bigger head. Those two things do not go well together. This tension is sometimes called the obstetrical dilemma, a term used by researchers including anthropologist Karen Rosenberg. It describes the tight, awkward squeeze a human infant's skull has to make through a birth canal that evolution never widened enough to make it easy. The baby has to rotate on the way out, turning its shoulders and head at different angles just to fit. No other primate baby has to do this twisted maneuver. Because of that twist, something else had to change. The baby comes out facing away from the mother, not toward her, unlike most other primates. That means a birthing mother often cannot easily reach down and guide her own baby out, check for a tangled cord, or clear its airway alone. Trevethan proposed what is now called the assisted birth hypothesis. Human birth may be one of the very few reasons early human social groups evolved to actively help each other during labor, not just tolerate each other's presence nearby. In other words, childbirth might be one of the oldest reasons humans needed teamwork at all. So what did that teamwork actually look like? Picture a woman in labor inside a Pleistocene camp, thousands of years before agriculture. She is not alone in a private room. She is surrounded by female relatives, an older sister, an aunt, a grandmother who has done this herself multiple times. Anthropological studies of surviving hunter-gatherer groups, including long-term field work among the Hadza of Tanzania and the historical work of demographer Nancy Howell among the Juhuansi of the Kalahari, describe birth as a communal event handled almost entirely by women. There is no single specialist. There is accumulated experience, passed down verbally from woman to woman, generation after generation. That grandmother matters more than you might think. Researcher Sarah Blaffer-Hurdy has argued that human children survive infancy at all because humans are what she calls cooperative breeders. Unlike most primates, human mothers get consistent help raising and even birthing children, from grandmothers, from aunts, from unrelated women in the group. Hurdy's research reframes something we often think of as purely emotional, the doting grandmother, as something closer to a survival mechanism baked into the species. A grandmother who has survived several births herself is a walking archive of practical knowledge. She knows how long is too long. She knows what a breech position feels like under her hands. She knows which herbs slow bleeding and which postures ease pain. None of this eliminated risk. It just distributed it. Estimates drawn from historical and pre-industrial populations suggest maternal mortality in societies without modern obstetric care could run into the hundreds of deaths per 100,000 births, sometimes far higher during complicated deliveries. Infant mortality was brutal too. Skeletal evidence from sites across prehistory shows infant remains at rates high enough that researchers estimate a significant percentage of children did not survive their first year. This was not because people did not care. It was because there was genuinely very little anyone could do once labor went wrong. And yet, the species did not just survive. It thrived, spread across every continent, and multiplied. Part of the answer is timing itself. Trevethan's research and later work by other anthropologists point out that women may have unconsciously sought out low, dim, private spaces to labor in, similar to what many mammals do, reducing stress hormones that can slow labor down. Firelight instead of harsh light, familiar voices instead of strangers. The environment of an ancient camp